Hi everyone, and welcome to So Fun for January. It is absolutely freezing here in Colorado. We've got snow outside, and it's really great sewing weather. And I think we have some really fun things for you. We're going to do something new this year for January, and that is we're going to do what's called tried and true. And that could be anything from bringing in something new that we've done in So Funs in the past, or it also could be a tried and true pattern that you've loved and people have been doing for absolutely forever. So hopefully we have some fun things to show you, and I'm going to dive right in with this very first pattern that is called Funky. It's from Funky Friends Factory, and it's called Kelsey the Keepsake Unicorn. And the reason why they call it a keepsake is because even though you can make it with fuzzy fabric and make it like a store-bought stuffed animal, you could also use some scraps, and you can use up some of those baby fabrics that you made baby blankets out of, or cut up some of those little baby outfits that your baby wore and make the little unicorn out of them, and then it makes it into like a little keepsake toy. So this is the one that I made, and I did not make it out of scrap baby fabric, but I did make it out of scraps from my stash. So I just went through it. The pattern has got a really cute little girl unicorn with a tutu. I thought it would be fun to make a little boy unicorn, and so I've just got really bright colors. I did do the hoofs in fuzzy and his little nose fuzzy. And I just happened to have a lot of polka dot fabrics that I thought would be really fun. It was very easy to put together. I have to tell you that you really do need a long needle to go through and put these arms on so that they move. So a very long doll needle and very, very strong thread will help you joint this little guy up really easily and make him really fun. He's got little button eyes. These are those safety button eyes that don't pull off, but you could embroider eyes on there if you wanted to. And he's got a really cute little tail in the back that you just use. There's a template in there for cutting strips into a piece of knit fabric, and then you just sew it in there. So he went together pretty fast. I made him in an afternoon, and I think he came out really, really cute. Okay, so I usually try and do a little girl's dress, and this time I did not get this little dress on a mannequin, so hopefully you can see it. It's a really basic little shift dress made out of a velveteen stretch fabric, and just for the fun of it, I went ahead and I embroidered some flowers around the top of it. I did change it up a little bit. The pattern tells you to sew a really thin facing, turn it to the inside, and top stitch it. I did not do that because of the roses embroidered on around the neckline. So what I did, I just increased the size of the facing. So there's a nice big facing on the inside, and that made it so that it'll wear very easily. It won't keep popping up. It stays where I want it to, and I was able to put the embroidery around the top of it. I can be just a little bit OCD when it comes to doing hems on things. I did this entire thing with my serger except for the facings around the neckline. I serged off the edges, and then I hand stitched the sleeves, and I hand stitched the bottom just to get so it finished up the way I wanted it to. But it's a really fun little girl's dress that'll go right over her head, and she can wear it. You know, here in Colorado, Easter can be cold. So I thought this would make a really fun little Easter dress for a little girl. It comes in a lot of different sizes. It actually goes in size 1 to 6, and it also comes up to size 10 in little girl sizes in another pattern. So you can get the one that you want. And if you want to make one with a little full twirly skirt, there's one like that in there as well. So the next garment that I have for you today is called Rose. It's a pair of pants, and I have to be honest with you, being a full-figured woman and a full pair of pants, I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't like these when I finished them, but I really do. I like them a whole lot. They have a very flat front and a gathered waist, so there's no buttons or zippers or anything in it. It gives you 2 rows to put your 2 rows of elastic in it, so it has a nice waist band fit on it. It's got pockets in the side here, and then just nice full legs. I made it out of a rayon fabric, so it flows really pretty when you wear it. Very comfortable. It'll be something that'll be really nice once the weather gets warm. It goes together pretty fast. It didn't take me very long to make it, and they have it in extra small all the way up to extra large, and then plus sizes 1 to 5. So whatever you wear, you'll be able to make these pants, and I know that you'll really enjoy making it. And it says right on the front of it, intermediate, which means you don't have to be a really experienced sewer to get a nice pair of pants. Okay, so the next thing I have for you is, this is called Bella, and it's by Sally Tomato, and it is a little wallet. The pattern basically, in the explanation and everything, talks about making it out of alternate fabrics. Like, for instance, we brought in some really fun faux leather that you can make it with. You could also make it out of cork, but I have to tell you that I started to make it out of the faux leather, and I just didn't like it, whether it was my personal capabilities or whatever it was. I just didn't like it. So I started over again, and I decided just to make it out of regular fabric. And just for fun, I embroidered some of the OESD Winnie the Pooh designs on it, and I used a really pretty flower on the inside. It's got little places for you to put your credit cards, and it's got a little zipper part in the center for you to put your change, and there's even another place right on the change thing that you could put your driver's license if you want to. So it's a real basic little wallet, nothing really complicated. I keep trying to tell myself I want to get into something smaller, so I'm not carrying a great big huge purse with me everywhere I go, so that's why I thought this would be really fun for me. And you can even put a little hook on it so you can hold it and carry it around your wrist if you want to. So that was a really fun wallet to do. Again, I know I've said this before, but sometimes when you're taking on these patterns, you just have to do one step at a time, and you'll get through it, and you'll be amazed and tell yourself, wow, look at, I did that. That's not bad. It looks like a real wallet. So I also have, whoops, just knocked everything on the floor. This, and unfortunately I don't have the pattern for it, but we do have it for you to purchase. But this is called the Backseat Babysitter. And it's really something that you would put in the back on the back of your car seat, so the kids have things that they can do in the back seat. It also has instructions for folding it over and putting it on a stroller. So if you need something to put on the back of your stroller, you could do that as well. As you can tell, I did not make this out of baby fabric. Most of you have seen this fabric before. I made a purse out of it before. It's really cute. It's got kind of a steampunk sewing theme to it. So you could make it out of scrap fabrics that you have. It's a little bit complicated, but one step at a time. So you quilt your fabric first, and then you add on this little see-through pocket that you could actually put a little notebook or something like that in it. It zips up here on the top, and it zips on the side. There's a zipper right here that's a double zipper, and it has a place that you can put stuff in there. There's some elastic little pockets right here that you could put things in, and there's a cup holders right here. Personally, I don't usually have kids in my car, so it's going to have stuff that I need in it. I thought it was really fun. When I was making this, I did not have the little clips to put around the top of your headrest, so I just use purse clips like this. But we did bring some in for you, so you could buy the plastic clips so it buckles onto your stroller or to the back of your seat. We also have several different little pieces of hardware so you can get this finished up, and even one of the zippers by the yard with the zipper pulls on it, so you have everything that you need. We brought in some strapping and some mesh fabric. So you're all set to go. You can use your scraps. I thought the polka dots were really fun to go with the bird fabric, and I even had some pin fabrics that I put on the back of it. Just have a lot of fun with it. I think you'll really like it, and get it done pretty quickly, one step at a time. One of the things that we're going to be presenting almost every single month, we're going to have a new pair of scissors, and I was blessed enough that I got the nice big pair of sewing shears. They're by Moda, and they're non-stick Teflon coating, and they have measurements right on the scissors. And the blade is down here at the bottom, so when you're cutting out your patterns, you don't have to lift it up off the table too far. They have a comfort grip. I just think they're really great. I'm really pleased. You know, I've said it before, I love scissors. Anything new will just be another one that you can add to your collection. So here's all of this stuff to finish up your projects. And we even brought in this cute little label that you could put either on the back seat Babysitter or on your wallet that says handmade on it, so everybody will know that you made it. Oh, and one other thing. So I'm a pin person. I like to put pins in everything. I pin all of whenever I'm making a dress, I use pins. And even most of the time when I'm making a quilt, I use pins. But making this backseat Babysitter, there's a lot of layers. You're trying to make sure that those little cup holders get held in place and that you put the binding around and everything. So I brought in some of these Wonder Clips. Wonder Clips are wonderful for that. It held everything in place, and I didn't stick myself one time, and I was able to hand sew the things in place that I wanted hand sewn in place very easily and quickly. Okay, so for the embroidery pattern that I have for this month, I brought in the Bird Brain Designs. It's a table runner. It is called Yards of Snowmen, and I know lots of people put snowman with Christmas, but January is definitely a snowy month. I confess I did not make this one. One of my friends made it for me. But isn't this a cute table runner? I really thought it would be something really fun when you take those Christmas decorations down to put out on your table. It's very long, as you can see, and it's got kind of like a red work that goes all the way across it. The pattern is very helpful in telling you exactly how to line it up. Now, my friend who made this has a luminaire, so she was able to use her scanner and line it up with that, but she told me that it was very, very easy to put it together, even if you didn't have a luminaire, in order to just move the first stitch to the last stitch and line them up and keep going. No one would ever know any place where one pattern stops and the next one begins. It actually has a pattern after you've done all the embroidery that will show you how to make this table runner that has the little prairie points on the ends, and you can get out your blues and your snowflake fabrics. The back of this has got snowflakes on it. And have a really fun table runner to put out until we get to those Easter ones that we have to do. So to get to the books that I have for you today, I have this book. It's called Imagine. It's by Art to Heart, and it's actually a block of the month book. And when I first got it, I thought I would make a quilt out of it. It also has in the back a whole bunch of little mini quilts and some banners that you can make. So you basically can use your imagination and make whatever you want to make out of it. And as I got this out and decided that I was going to make something with it, I started thinking about it, and I decided I just didn't need another quilt to put out for the whole year. So I made a pillow. And the first one says create, and it's got a snowman on it, so it's perfect for January. And then after January's over, you just flip it over, and you've got February. And then you can go on to the next month for March and April and just make yourself a bunch of little couch pillows, and you can take them out and put them away. And the applique is really fun and easy to do. They give you step-by-step directions on how to do it. You do need a Teflon pressing sheet if you have a little trouble lining up those pictures. Santa Claus is a little bit complicated down here, and there's even one that's got some books and an apple. So if you want to get those all positioned exactly right, you want to do it on a Teflon sheet and then peel that off in one piece and put it on your fabric and iron it down. And talking about ironing it down, you just need some Steam-A-Seam. I love Steam-A-Seam. It's got a sticky side, so you can iron it onto your fabric, peel off the backing, stick it down, get it exactly the way you want it, iron it with your Teflon sheet, and then put it onto your finished project. Last time I did So Fun, I had applique, and this time I had applique. I am getting to be a huge applique fan. You don't have to have an embroidery machine to do some really fun, creative projects, and this is one of those. I think you're really going to love it. Okay, so as I said before, we are doing what's called tried and true this year. And my understanding of tried and true at first was the idea of doing patterns that are tried and true, that we've seen forever since we were maybe little kids. And one of those patterns is the log cabin. And I found this pattern that looks like a log cabin to me, or you could call it the courthouse steps. But it's got a little twist because it has a star in the center of it. It's shown here with dark colors and kind of a beige in the back, but I had some really pretty fabrics that I had gotten for my granddaughter who is graduating from high school this year, and I promised her a really fun girly quilt, and this is what I ended up with. It's got mostly white on it and then some really bright colors on it. I have to tell you that I struggled a little bit with the little teeny tiny stars that were in here, and I got really almost frustrated with myself, but then when it was all finished, I just love it. I just think it came out really, really pretty, and the stars in the front just kind of make it. I almost wish I'd made it a little bit bigger to finish out the pattern more so that you could actually see the stars come out, but I didn't want it to be too big. And my granddaughter, Layla, wants fuzzy. She said, I don't care, I just want fuzzy. So I put Minky on the back. And it just finished up this quilt so nice. It's nice and fuzzy. I put it on my long arm, and I made a really pretty butterfly-like design all over it, and it just came out really, really cute. And I thought that could be my tried and true for this month. So the next one that I thought was kind of a tried and true is the Great Granny Square. And so this reminds me of the Granny Square blankets that my mom used to make that were crocheted when I was a kid. And I know I've seen patterns like this around in different quilt books before. There's just basic squares. And if you're a beginner quilter, you're going to love this book, because not only is it really basic, just square after square after square, but it's also a very scrappy blanket. Unfortunately, I was only able to make one quilt with it, but I think I'll go back and I'll make some of these quilts in scraps that I have, and you know, we all have lots of scraps. But I got this set of fabrics, and it's called Honey and Lavender. It's by Moda Fabrics. It is just the prettiest fabric. It's got a whole lot of little bumblebees in it. It's kind of like a gold and black theme, but this is what I ended up with, and I just think it came out really beautiful. The only thing you have to do while you're working on it is make sure that you keep the center the same, and then the next row and the next row and the next row. Don't mix it up too much unless it's going to be a scrappy quilt. But I laid them all out and then put kind of like an off-white blue in the back of it. And I just think it just came out really, really pretty. The fabrics are just wonderful. So we do have this layer cake for you that you can purchase so you can make a quilt just like this. And I was able to find some more of the fabric to go around the outsides and everything. And then I finished it up with bees. that we had in our Arvada store. And if you look at this really close, there's bees all over it. So I just thought it was just something that was really fun, kind of a country-like effect. Okay. So the last one I have for you is called Just 2 Charm Pack Quilts. And if you buy those charm packs, and we always see them and we think, oh, that's beautiful, and you buy it and then you don't know what the heck you're going to do with it, this is a great project in order to do those charm packs up with lots of different ones. There's 16 different throw quilts in this book, and you're going to find something that you just love in it, I guarantee it. One of the ones that I liked a whole lot was this one right here. It had big squares in it. And when I first looked at it, I thought it would be great for some fabric that I had purchased that had barns on it. And then when I got into the book and started looking at the directions, it was done with half square triangles. So you put them together and create that big green square that's on here. Here's another picture of the same one with the big square in the middle. So I cheated a little bit, and instead of doing 4 half square triangles, I cut out the barns and then I snowballed the corners, and it worked the same way, and it gave a really nice effect. I also had a charm pack that was all sorts of chickens and pigs and goats, and so that all went together with the barns. I was very pleased with this quilt. I think it came out really fun. I had a lot of fun just laying it out and seeing what the different squares look like together. And then I've had some kind of a country red for the back. So it almost just turned out to be just a little farmhouse country quilt. And it wasn't very big, and it was really quick and easy. And I think you should give it a try. Okay, so I made one more from this book. I have a huge family. Those of you who don't know, I come from a family of 9 children. So as long as I keep making quilts, I'm always going to have somebody who's going to need a quilt. And this time I thought it would be really fun to make one from my sister Helen. And this one right here is a really easy quilt. It's got 9 patches in the center of it, and then the rest is just squares. So you don't have to have a lot of skill in order to put this together. There's almost even not too much that you have to worry about making sure the corners come together or anything. My sister keeps bees, and so when I asked her what kind of quilt she wanted, she said, as long as it's got bees, I'll be happy. So, and I had already made this one that had bees in it, but I found some more bee fabric, and I made this one right here. And I just think it came out really, really fun and cute. It's very yellow. I almost feel like we're back in the last year when we had a color theme, because I have a lot of yellow this time. And if you look at it really close, there's fabric in it that's got bees and flowers and bee hives and honeycombs, and there's even a fabric that has the words about bees and everything in it. So if you need a project that's fast and easy and you don't have to have a lot of worry about all those little teeny tiny triangles that never seem to match up, this is a great quilt to make that way. And I went into the store and I found this bee flannel. So it's really soft and fuzzy on the back side, makes a nice fun throw. I think my sister's really going to love it. So I hope you like the books that I had to show you this time and all the different projects, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.